Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall. And a very small man can cast a very large shadow.
This single line from Varys doesn't just echo within the walls of King's Landing. It resonates across the entire story of Game of Thrones. It's one of those moments where a show famous for bloodshed, betrayal, and dragons pauses to teach us something profoundly human, something about politics, about history, about us. And today, we're going to unpack this scene in detail, line by line, performance by performance, shadow by shadow, to understand why it remains one of the most powerful moments in the entire series. Let's set the stage. We're in King's Landing, the heart of Westeros, in a chamber that belongs to none other than Tyrion Lannister. At this point in the story, Tyrion has been appointed Hand of the King in his father's absence. He's surrounded by enemies, but also has a few allies. This is a pivotal point for him. He is gaining confidence, making bold moves, imprisoning Cersei's allies, and slowly carving a place for himself in a nest of vipers. Opposite him sits Lord Varys, the Spider. Known for his calm voice, careful phrasing, and web of spies, Varys represents wisdom of a different kind. He's not noble, he's not rich, and he certainly doesn't command armies. And yet he survives and thrives in a place where men like Ned Stark lose their heads. The scene is intimate, just two men at a table. No armies, no swords, no council chamber filled with politics, just wine, words, and philosophy. And that's what makes it extraordinary. In the middle of a show famous for battles and betrayals, we get a quiet meditation on what power truly is. To understand this scene fully, we need to step into the minds of the two players. Tyrion Lannister. He's clever, witty, underestimated, and constantly aware of how fragile his position is. Tyrion is the kind of man who weaponizes his intelligence because he lacks the physical power others rely on. But here, even Tyrion, as smart as he is, gets a lesson from Varys about what power actually means. Varys, the Spider, a man without title or armies, yet he moves kings and queens like pieces on a board. Varys survives by understanding human belief and by manipulating it. Unlike Littlefinger, who wants chaos for his own rise, Varys claims to act for the good of the realm. But his philosophy of power, that it exists only where people think it exists, is unsettling because it makes everything about perception, not truth. When these two share wine, what we're watching is not just dialogue. It's a passing of wisdom. It's Varys testing Tyrion, teaching him, and in a way, warning him. Now, let's slow down. Let's walk through this scene line by line and explore the meaning underneath every exchange.
You will be pleased to know our mutual friend is doing quite well in Lady Sansa's service.
This is a soft opener, but heavy with implication. Varys begins by reassuring Tyrion that Shae, disguised as a handmaiden to Sansa, is safe. It's a reminder of how many secrets both men hold and how vulnerable Tyrion is if those secrets spread. Varys signals that he knows everything. He's watching, but he's also keeping Tyrion safe, for now. This establishes Varys as both ally and threat.
Good. One of my better ideas.
Tyrion takes credit with a smile. He enjoys the validation, even though deep down he knows how precarious this is. Tyrion wants recognition. He's clever, and he knows it, but he's also insecure, craving acknowledgement from those that matter.
And it seems the Grand Maester has found his way into a black cell.
Here, Varys changes the topic, moving to Pycelle's imprisonment. He's testing Tyrion's ruthlessness. He wants to see how far Tyrion will go to consolidate power, raises the stakes. Tyrion is not just clever, he's dangerous. That silent gesture is so important. It's casual, almost smug. Tyrion sees this as a game he's winning. Peter Dinklage plays this with charm, but also arrogance. The glass becomes a symbol, Tyrion toasting his own cleverness.
Well played, my Lord Hand, but should I be worried? Janis Slynt, Pycelle. The small council grows smaller every day.
Compliment and warning in one. Varys is saying, you're good at this, but you're making enemies. Am I next? Should I fear you? Highlights the dangerous game Tyrion is playing.
Council has a reputation for serving past hands poorly. I don't mean to follow Ned Stark to the grave.
Brilliant line. Tyrion doesn't hide the truth. He's not noble, he's not self-sacrificing, he's a survivor. I won't die for honor. I'll bend rules, break people, do whatever it takes. Contrast between Ned Stark and Tyrion. Honor versus survival.
Power is a curious thing, my lord. Are you fond of riddles?
Here, Varys changes the game. He stops testing Tyrion politically and starts teaching him philosophically. You think you understand power? Let me show you its true face.
Why? Am I about to hear one?
Classic Tyrion wit. He plays along, but his sarcasm hides curiosity.
3 great men sit in a room: a king, a priest, and a rich man. Between them stands a common sellsword. Each great man bids the sellsword kill the other 2. Who lives, who dies?
This is the heart of the scene, the riddle of power. A thought experiment. Who truly commands obedience? Crown? Gold? Religion? Introduces the illusion versus reality theme.
Depends on the sellsword.
Tyrion answers pragmatically. He thinks power lies with the man holding the sword. Tyrion sees the world in terms of practicality, not abstract philosophy.
Does it? He has neither crown nor gold, nor favor with the gods.
Varys challenges Tyrion, stripping the sellsword of any independent legitimacy. Power is borrowed. Without recognition, force is just force.
He has a sword, the power of life and death.
Tyrion pushes back. For him, the sword is real. Everything else is talk.
But if it's swordsmen who rule, why do we pretend kings hold all the power? When Ned Stark lost his head, who was truly responsible? Joffrey, the executioner, or something else?
Varys reframes. If power is about the sword, then why was Ned Stark's death seen as lawful? Because everyone believed Joffrey had the right. The executioner was just a tool. Power is performance. Belief legitimizes violence.
I've decided I don't like riddles.
Humor, but also discomfort. Tyrion retreats because the truth unsettles him.
Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall, and a very small man can cast a very large shadow.
This is the thesis, the entire philosophy of power in Game of Thrones summed up in one breathtaking line. Power is not real, but its effects are. Its perception. Varys is also speaking directly to Tyrion here, empowering him. Despite being small, mocked, underestimated, Tyrion can still shape kingdoms. The lesson is absorbed in silence. This scene wouldn't work without 2 phenomenal actors. Peter Dinklage is Tyrion, his smirk, his pauses, his timing. He makes Tyrion's arrogance charming, but when Varys presses, you can see the shift. Subtle discomfort flickers across his face. Dinklage nails the layered performance of a man both confident and insecure. Varys has the spider, smooth, calm, deliberate. He delivers the riddle like a story, but his eyes never waver. He's not asking Tyrion a question, he's teaching him. His stillness contrasts Tyrion's wit, making his words land like a sermon. Together, their chemistry elevates what could have been exposition into one of the show's most memorable philosophical debates. This scene speaks to universal themes. Power. It's not about gold, crowns, or swords. It's about what people believe. Illusion. Like a shadow, power has no substance, yet it can dominate lives. Survival versus honor. Tyrion rejects Ned Stark's honor. Varys shows that even survival depends on perception. And we can even compare this to real-world philosophy. Machiavelli's The Prince. Rulers maintain power not by truth, but by appearance. Modern politics. Leaders win not because they have absolute power, but because people believe in their legitimacy. And within the show, this philosophy foreshadows. Littlefinger's chaos is a ladder. Cersei's power is power. Daenerys' eventual downfall when people stop believing in her. The moral of this scene is not just about Westeros, it's about us. Who really holds power in our world? Presidents, billionaires, religious leaders, or is it the belief of the people who follow them? If armies refuse to fight, if citizens refuse to obey, if faith collapses, crowns and gold mean nothing. Power is fragile because it depends entirely on collective belief. And that's why Varys' words matter so much.
A very small man can cast a very large shadow.
It's a reminder that influence doesn't come from size, title, or even wealth. It comes from how others perceive you. The brilliance of this scene lies not just in the words, but in how it's filmed. Setting: Tyrion's chambers, private, intimate, safe for truth. Wine, a symbol of both trust and loosened tongues. Lighting: dim, golden candlelight, creates literal shadows on the walls, reinforcing Varys' metaphor visually. Blocking: the 2 men sit across from each other as equals, But notice how Varys leans forward slightly when he speaks about power, pressing his lesson closer. Even the final drink they share is symbolic. The lesson is consumed, absorbed, sealed in silence. So what does this scene leave us with? That power isn't real in itself. It's a performance, an illusion, a shadow, but one that can shape nations, topple dynasties, and decide who lives and who dies. For Tyrion, it's a lesson that will define his entire arc. He may be small, mocked, underestimated, but as Varys tells him, a small man can cast a very large shadow, and Tyrion, more than almost anyone else,
proves that true. And maybe that's why this scene remains unforgettable. It's not about swords or dragons. It's about the invisible forces that govern all societies: belief, perception, illusion. In the end, power resides not in crowns or in swords or in gold. Power resides where we believe it resides. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Game of Thrones' most iconic scenes, make sure to hit like, subscribe for more breakdowns, and drop a comment below. Who do you think truly held power in King's Landing?